Welcome to Daily Success. Listen in on these personal conversations with today's leaders, innovators, and influencers as they discuss daily success principles, systems, and solutions. Get ready for Daily Success. Now, here's your host.
Hi, everyone. This is Tammy Patzer, and I'm really excited to introduce today's guest, Patricia ROWE. Let me tell you a little bit more about her before we get into our daily success word of the day. Patricia ROWE is an evidence-based energy healer in the field of life force energy sciences. In 2010, Patricia was introduced to Guruji Mahatma Trivedi, founder of the Trivedi effect. With Guruji's guidance, Patricia has enhanced her innate energy healing gift of the ability to harness life force energy from nature and transmit it through thought intention. Through her association with Mr. Trivedi, she went on to participate in groundbreaking scientific experiments where her abilities were tested, measured, and validated. To date, these experiments have resulted in several peer-reviewed publications, and her research related to the treatment of vitamin D suggests benefits for improved calcium, phosphorus absorption levels in bones, and of course this can all lead to stronger, healthier bones. And the research that Patricia participated in with her thought intentions increased ALP, a bone enzyme, by more than 250%. Bone mineralization increased by more than 240%, and collagen levels increased by more than 490%. Patricia believes that the most significant factor of equality, health, and happiness exists internally. Life force is the solution that goes beyond the symptoms into the root cause of many issues that people face today. It is the life force, or the blessing to people, minerals, agricultural, and products that can be significantly improved with her evidence-based research and scientifically enhanced program. Her clients claim better sleep, deep peace, improved stamina, new perspectives, higher productivity, physical healing, and more. Patricia's passion is to explore applications of this energy to bring about lasting solutions, health, and quality of life. And today, for our daily success word of the day, we're really going to be focusing on the word and definition of character. Welcome, Patricia.
Thank you, Tammy, for having me. I'm so excited to be here. And I just have to say, I love you so much. You post such useful stuff on Facebook. Everybody's got to be watching.
Oh, thank you so much.
Great.
So I'm really excited to really get into our word of the day, character. And as everyone knows, the Daily Success Word of the Day program is all about, we just hone in and focus on one word, and character is the word that you chose. So tell me more about, what is your personal definition of character, and why is it so important to you?
Okay, so I believe that character is the sum total of all our qualities. It's how we respond to different situations and people, whatever happens in our lives. The way we respond is based on what our character is. And so that affects our success in life. So for daily success, it really fits. And it's also what we take with us when we leave this world. We leave our body, we leave everything else, but our character is who we are. That's what comes with us. So what can be more important?
Wow. I never thought about that. So the character that we have, if you were to put some pieces of the puzzle together, what is it that creates our character?
I believe that character, that the virtues, the good qualities are gifts from the divine creator. And they really are gifts. They're not something that we can decide we want and then create them in ourselves. That they come from the creator. The creator created us, and if character is who we are, then it comes from the creator. So how do you improve yourself? And to me, the most important thing is, what's the outcome of our life? It's going to be based on what our character is. So how can we improve our character if it's really a gift? So one thing is, the more we use, if we look at the qualities that we have and we do some good self-introspection and look at the qualities that we have and use those good qualities, then that brings in more of the energy. Because you don't get more if you don't use what you have. Just like if a parent gives some money to their teenager and they waste it, then the parent's not going to give more money to them. But if they use it wisely, then the parent may give them another gift of another $20 or something. So looking at what qualities you have, using them wisely will bring more, will develop those characteristics better. And there's another big piece to it, which is balance. The importance of a balanced character. Because if we look at, this is all part of self-introspection, which is so important. And if we look at qualities that could be very good qualities and virtues, but someone has certain things developed and not others, there's going to be problems. You could have someone that is very developed in productivity, which is a really good quality, but they have not developed their compassion. They're going to be more forceful in what they do. They could even be, what's the word I'm trying to think of? They could even be ruthless. If they have no compassion, but they have the ability to get a lot done and to do a lot. So another thing is discrimination. If you have different qualities, but you don't have discrimination, you don't know how to use it properly. So the heart, the compassion, and the love is a really big one, but all the different types of characteristics are really important to be equally developed. And that we come in to this world and everybody has different gifts and different abilities. So you may come in with certain characteristics that are stronger and some are weaker. So you want to look at what's stronger and you want to use that. And then you want to look at what's weaker and you want to use that even more, so that you become really successful in your life.
I can see that. So, for example, when you're talking about balance, for example, being nice, I think, is a good quality. But the flip side of being nice is you could be a little bit too nice and people could take advantage of you.
Right, exactly.
So how would you say that, for example, I mean, everybody being nice to people, I think, is a good thing. But how do you develop the balance that you're talking about when you're developing your character? And how do you know this deep introspection, I think, is something that it seems like as a planet that humans are really starting to recognize that they need to do this. It seems like we're in a movement of more people are looking inside and wanting to connect to the source. Do you find that that's true?
Yes, I think it is true. And I think a lot of people are getting off track, though, and trying to find the ways to do that. So certain things like the idea of being nice. This is a good example. When people are on the spiritual path and they think that being nice is the way to be, but their character isn't there yet. So they're acting that way, but they don't feel that way inside. And I have an example to show what happens when you do that. So let me just get something here. So a thought form, this is sort of like a person, but it also relates to thought forms, because what we think creates these little thought forms. And the thought form, the shape of it has to do with what the thought is. So if your thought is being nice, you have a nice shape. Could be a heart, it's a nice shape. And I'm using this for an example here. I have this glass with a very pretty glass, and this is the shape of the thought form. But if you're being nice and you really don't feel it inside, then this is what it looks like. So you've got the nice shape, but it's all dark inside.
Oh, that's a really good visual.
Yeah, and so this really gets people off track because they're trying to be spiritual, they're giving money, trying to be generous, they're trying to be kind even when they don't feel it. And what happens is they've got this nice shape. It's in their thought forms, but that also means it's in them. And it's also in every cell of their body, because what's in you is in every cell of your body. So that can affect your health. It can affect you in every single way. So what we want is we want this. And I really spent a lot of my life trying to figure this out, because I experienced it. I experienced being in spiritual groups, and they teach this is the way you should be. And, you know, in all honesty, we're not perfect, and we have a lot of crap, you know, and we're trying to be nice. And what happens when you do that is it actually disconnects you from your source. It disconnects you from your higher soul and from the divine creator. And you can actually go downhill with that. So I see a lot of people getting off track, and I've been through it, and that's why I can see it. And I've really looked at this a lot, and that's when I came to realize it's only the grace of God that really can help us get to here. Mm-hmm. And we can do that through prayer. We can do that through requests. I do send blessings that can help with that, but the person has to make the decision to whatever qualities they have and they get, that they use them right. And when you don't have the quality, don't fake it. Fake it till you make it. It will just take you downhill.
Oh, that's an interesting take on fake it till you make it. So in your experience, you said that you spent a long time trying to understand the character. When did you come to know or realize that character is something that you take with you? You know, you said that we come into the world and we develop our character, and then when we leave, it's still our character that we have. Can you explain a little bit more what you meant by that, or what you mean by that?
Well, it really came about when I was trying to make some decisions about some very expensive trainings, and deciding, you know, whether or not to go forward with the expense, because it was going to make it very tight. And I discussed with my husband, and we basically came to this together, that what's more valuable if it changes you, who you are, because when it is, when you die, your body goes, but your essence is still there. Mm-hmm. So if it changes you, there's nothing more valuable than that. And so it would be worth to spend the money, even if it was really tight. And if something can really change you from the inside out instead of the out. Because when you try to change from the outside, it's this again.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't work. So just looking at death and what death is, the energy cannot be destroyed. We're made up of energy. We have a spirit. We're going somewhere. And what is that spirit? That spirit is our qualities. And what are our qualities? Our character. It just seems like common sense to me, I guess. But it really came about with the idea of trying to make a decision on some expensive teachings.
That's really interesting because, I mean, you know, you hear about spirit, you hear about soul, but I don't know that people break it down into talking about the essence of your character and who you are. But the more I think about it, the more it really makes sense to me of what you're saying, that it does make sense that if you develop your character, and it also, like you just said, it helps you with decision making too. On, like, I love your example of the glass, the clear glass and the dark glass, because so many people do operate in the world trying to be
right
a certain way, but they're not.
Right.
And I get the fake it till you make it, and why that would lead you to be the dark glass instead of the light glass, because you are not being authentic and real to you.
Right. And then what happens is you become a hypocrite, even though you're really a good person with good intentions, and you're really trying, and you created this beautiful glass, this image. But the inside doesn't change. This crap that's in here, right. It doesn't change just because of the shape of the glass. So
it's really interesting to think about it, because of, again, character being the essence of who we are. And I think nice is a good example. What about on the other extreme of character, of, can people, maybe they are a little dark, or maybe for some reason they are a little bit mean. Can they change?
Yes, character can change. And in fact, everything that you do, every moment of the day is an opportunity to change your character, because every way you respond to things, anytime you respond to anything, that does two things. It impacts your character and it makes a change in the outer world. So we always have our character with us, but it's fluid, and it can change. It does change whether we like it or not, whether we know it or not. So we can, I don't want to say we can though, because it's really, I really believe it's the grace of God that can bring characteristics that you don't have. But if you do have them and then you use them, it's sort of like exercising a muscle. And then that's showing, if you use something that you have, it's showing that you recognize the value of it. And so then more will come.
Mm-hmm. And character, like the concept of abundance too, and how people think about the universe being abundant or lack. I think that, you know, a lot of people, they get stuck in that thinking process, right. Also about right. That if this person has money, then for some reason you can't have it, but that's not true. We all can develop our character and be as big as, I guess, we want to be, or our connection with the source can be as strong as we want to make it. And like you said, it's rewarded if we use our gifts, talents, and abilities.
Right. So there's deserving versus desiring.
Mm-hmm.
If someone is desiring and they're doing all these abundance practices, and they're not deserving, then they're not going to get it. Their prayers aren't going to be answered, and their techniques are not going to work. They desire it, but they don't deserve it. And so how do you get to deserve it? It's by using the character that you have, the virtues that you have, and you need to develop discrimination, because the divine isn't going to be answering prayers to give a lot of money to someone that doesn't have discrimination, because they'll misuse it.
Right.
It wouldn't even be good for them. So discrimination is a really important one to try to develop, it's like I'm saying try to develop. It's you develop what you have, and you really pay attention. You have alertness to it. You do your self-introspection and see where you can use it. The same thing with accurate perception and correct expression. That really goes along with discernment. So as you raise your consciousness, you can see things from a different perspective. And as you improve your character, it also helps raise your consciousness. It's almost like two sides of the same coin. So the more you raise your consciousness, the more you see things differently. The more you see things differently, the more you raise your consciousness. And when you're seeing things differently, then you can really develop different characteristics, because you'll recognize opportunities. You'll be more successful in life. It doesn't mean you're not going to have problems, because still big problems come up, but you'll be able to handle them better, and you'll be able to respond to them better, know what to do, or come up with ideas. But again, that has to do with, if you don't have balanced qualities, you're still going to run into problems, because you take someone with leadership qualities, really good leadership qualities, really good even compassion. So they have compassion, they have leadership, but they don't have the productivity part of them. They're not going to get anywhere. They're a good person with some good qualities, but they're not going to get anywhere. So it's like really a lot of self-introspection, and then putting yourself in situations where those kind of topics will come up, and you just look inside for whatever amount you have of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
so do you work with people to help them on developing their character and other things?
Yeah, I've been really interested in this for a long time. So I've done some work with helping people on this, and done some different programs, and I'll be starting some new programs. I keep looking at, what's the way that people will really change, and it won't be information. And that's the biggest goal, because the information doesn't do anything. It ends you out with the glass with the crap in it, really, because people are trying to be something they're not. Mm-hmm. So now that I do these blessings that connect people to the divine and bring the grace of God, that just fits in perfectly with what I've been interested in my whole life, because that's what's needed, is the grace of God. The information gets you that glass with the crap in it.
Right. So you help people with the transformation, so they can take the crappy glass,
yes, and go to this,
and go to the clear, beautifully
because the grace of God that will do that.
Right, and the source connection. Wow, that's really phenomenal. Because again, your perspective on character is something that I think, it's definitely a very interesting conversation to have about looking inside and what character really is. Because I don't think that we have enough conversations about, who we are and how do we develop ourselves so that we can have those deeper, better, stronger connections with the divine and the source.
Right. And then a more successful life on top of it.
Yes.
Well, it really fit with your daily success program, I felt.
Yeah, no, I think so too. That's why I was so happy when you said that you wanted to come on and talk about character. So if people want to connect with you, Patricia, what is the easiest way that they can do that?
I've got a website, and so it's patricia-rowe.com. So that's PATRICIA ROWE, ROWE.com.
Great.
So go to my website, and then there's ways there to connect and join my mailing list and see whatever you're interested in.
Great. Well, I have a feeling that people are going to want to contact you to continue this conversation and to find out more about how you can work with them to make that big transformation from, dark glass to clear glass and everything. So before I let you go, is there anything else that maybe I forgot to ask you that you would like to add?
Nothing's coming to mind at the moment. So.
Okay. So everyone, it's Patricia-Rowe, and that's ROWE.com, Patricia-Rowe.com. You can go find out more about Patricia and what she does. And of course, as always, I want to thank everyone for joining us for Daily Success Word of the Day. And especially thank you, Patricia.
Thank you, Tammy.
Everyone, go make it a beautiful day.
You've been listening to Daily Success. Tune in again and subscribe. Never miss a moment of daily success.